and I'm a participant in the 2020 AQHA Ranching Heritage Young Horse Development Program. This Wildcard presentation is about my experience planning and running a schooling show for youth training young horses. Today, I will cover the timeline of events, including how my original idea evolved, the detailed process, and my final thoughts. My original idea was to run a one-day event geared towards young horse development and 4-H youth training young horses. The morning would consist of mini clinics on groundwork, lunging, basic riding, and trail. The youth could then exhibit what they learned in classes focused on those 4 areas and receive personalized feedback from the judge. I had already secured a location with insurance, reached out to potential clinicians, and started designing a flyer when the COVID pandemic hit in March. April, May, and June, my state was on lockdown. I played the waiting game to see if I would be able to host this event in person. In early July, I decided to go virtual. I literally went back to the drawing board. After doing some research, I found that a Facebook group would be the best platform to host this on. Exhibitors would pay on Venmo, submit their entry video, get placed, and then receive personalized feedback from 2 different judges. At first, I was going to do 3 classes: basic groundwork, lunging, and in-hand trail, but I quickly eliminated the third option because it did not seem feasible. First, I secured 2 judges, an AQHA professional horseman from South Dakota, who was recommended by my yearlings breeders, and a reined cow horse trainer from right here in Minnesota. I also got a custom apparel company to sponsor first place awards. Under the agreement, I would pay half for each custom shirt certificate. Based on one judge's recommendation, I decided on a $10 class entry fee. I planned to pay $4 per judge per entry. The leftover $2 would go towards awards. I lined up 2 companies to help pay for the custom t-shirts as well. With my judges and sponsors committed, I created the Facebook group. I started by designing a logo on Google Drawings and officially naming my Wildcard project the Virtual Young Horse Youth Show. Here's a clip I filmed during the design process. I think it's crazy how much you can learn just from being accepted into a program about horses, and now I'm learning about graphic design. So I recruited a friend to test how efficiently videos uploaded on the group discussion, an album, or an event. We decided uploading video entries to the group discussion was the easiest for all participants. Next, I worked on the Facebook group details. I wrote a basic description stating what the YHY show is, how entries will work, basic guidelines, and why I am putting it on. I established rules for the group by combining Facebook's recommended rules and other virtual show rules I had seen. Then I edited the privacy settings to make participants read and agree with the rules before they joined. I also added my mom as a group administrator. Finally, I invited people to the group. I shared the group with YHD and 4-H pages and received a good amount of interest. Now that I had group members, I wrote the first post. I stated we were having 2 classes, a groundwork class August 2nd through 8th with horses aged 2 and under, and a lunging class August 9th through 15th with horses aged 3 and under. The post included my Venmo and instructions on how to enter. The judges and I worked together to create each pattern, and I wrote an evaluation sheet. To help the youth grow their public speaking skills, we decided to require exhibitors to introduce themselves, their horses, and say a unique fact in their entry video. Here's the evaluation sheet. Feel free to pause the video to read it. The judges were to use the AQHA pattern score sheet. During this time, I wrote 2 posts to introduce the judges and award sponsor. I then created a Google folder and spreadsheets to keep track of entries, scores, and personalized feedback. Finally, it was time for the first class. Here's a clip from right when the announcement was posted. Alright, it's official. I got the first Facebook post up saying you can start entering on Venmo. I really already got a lot of action on it right away. I've got 3 comments on it just about people tagging their kids in it and stuff. So this is really exciting. Groundwork class entries were open for a week. There were 3 participants who all did exceptional. The judges placed the class and provided personalized feedback, either in written or oral form. Next was the lunging class. More youth showed more interest in the class, so I expected a bigger class size. Here's a clip from the lunging submission time. I'm just hoping more entries will come in. I know that this is a big learning curve, and I'm just happy I did it, even if I don't get a lot of entries. Due to a terrible storm hitting Minnesota, I ended up extending the entry window 2 days, which allowed 2 more exhibitors to enter. There were 3 participants in total, and all did very well. The first place winners started designing their custom shirts, which they later received in mid-September. Both judges donated their money back to the show, which made it possible to fully pay for the shirts without asking other sponsors to. There were $10 left to buy thank you gifts for the judges. In conclusion, I think the timeline of events, evolution of my original idea, and detailed process of the virtual Young Horse Youth Show was successful. It brought community together, advertised young horse development, and gave youth an affordable option to exhibit and learn. My Wildcard project also grew my leadership, professional communication, and computer skills. It helped me achieve 4 of my Young Horse Development Program goals. Thank you for listening to my Wildcard presentation about the virtual Young Horse Youth Show. Here's the link to the Facebook group if you're interested. Stay safe and God bless.